it, you know, I don't know, it may not be true, and really, there's a real human imperative to know, whether or not you keep it back for years and years, but to know what it is that you believe, and to live as you believe, and to love as you believe, and to accept yourself as you really are. I mean, and I'm not saying that I've attained that, because I really have not. I just need that more than ever, especially now. And because your terms of acceptance are so subjective. You know, it could just be ripped up from under you, and it really doesn't matter. What really matters is what you sound like, what you are, who you love, why you love them, why you are loved.
Which do you like more? An avant-garde kind of drama, or more of a cliched kind of soap opera? It's kind of a
cliched soap operas are avant-garde dramas.
I guess you can come from that perspective. When he was asking that, you want to know which applies more to your life. Is it more of a soap opera or an avant-garde type of play? So I guess that's been your answer.
Exactly what it is. Avant-garde qualities to be garnered from something like Gilligan's Island and, you know, Goodbye Girl or whatever, Golden Girls, or same thing as, you know, Persona by Bergman.
Are you attracted though by the avant-garde theater?
Yeah. Well, I'm attracted by any work at all that that has that just has a visceral quality to it that isn't too self-conscious. Because lots of things can be called avant-garde, and lots of things call themselves avant-garde, and it doesn't stop them from being avant-garde. It's just that for me to really get into it, let's see. There's that thing about avant-garde artists that contrive some sort of quirk in order to hide the fact that they can't write, or they can't act, or they can't sing, or they can't play, or that they just groove on this one riff forever and ever and ever. It still maybe is avant-garde, but I don't reject anything that is an avant-garde. Anything that, like, I mean, I'll take Bozo the Clown, or I'll take the Brothers Quay. You know, I think they're both really valid.
その後の質問俺知ってるから両方 Artists are motivated by the more bitter experiences in their life, by the pain, by experiences in which they've been hurt. And is that true in your case? And if so, what have been the most painful experiences in your life?
I think that it's important for art to come from joy, and not sorrow exclusively. I think joy has more power, but a lot of times sorrow is all you can hear at one time. For me, I don't know. There have been lots of incidents that have hurt me, and also cases where I've been the one to hurt the other. Really devastating. Really damaging. And but the thing that gets right to the core of me is just the fact that it happens. The whole concept of it happening. The concept of having all this conditioning in your human self that you just can't seem to get over, no matter how well you mean the world. And definitely vice versa. No matter how well the world may mean you, there's tons and tons of shit that gets in the way. Everybody's upbringing somehow plants a devil inside them.
Your mom liked to move around a lot.
She didn't like to, but we had to.
You had to, okay. But you moved around quite a bit. Did that have a positive or negative effect on you?
Both. It, the positive effect being, adaptability. It made me into more of a person who notices character, because that's all I had to deal with when I came into a certain situation, people's character, and not feeling safe automatically just because it was a school or a playground or a restaurant or anything. I really had to sort of hone in on people and myself. And it afforded me a lot of, I just like travel. I like the sense of being on the road and being transient and being on the wind. The troubles that arise from that is that all those things creep into your every relationship, even with your dog, even with your food, with your money, your woman, your friends, that you are able to adapt and pick up somebody's heart and easily just let it go, because you're still that 8-year-old kid that's gonna pack their bags up and split. So you're constantly having to fight against that, just to really tell yourself, against all your convictions, that you actually are going to stay in this home, you actually are going to stay with these people, you're not going to have to leave, unless you get hit by a bus. It has a real big ripple effect in that, if you're that kind of person, where life is transient, nothing lasts. It's a blessing. It's a blessing and a trouble.
So for you, the traveling musician is good, but at the same time, if you want sort of a constant relationship, I guess you have to recondition yourself.
Yeah, just in those. In just in those areas, because the rest of it is I'm made for this life.
No matter where you go, you always would feel like you were a stranger anyway. You were the outsider.
Yeah, and. It really teaches you that people's pomp and circumstance and sometimes their rituals don't mean shit, and their attachment to them and attachment to certain values around them is completely meaningless. It's probably why I was such a loner and why I was just fuck you all the time. Because I grew up in places like Anaheim. I grew up in places like Riverside. Just really middle-of-the-road, conservative, white neighborhoods. Very segregated, very prejudiced, very just in a dreamland about everything. And I just didn't appreciate it. And it didn't include me, and it really chastised me time after time, even just sitting there. There's no reason for that. There's a huge world outside. If you don't know that, then it's too late for you already.
This is your first time in Japan, actually encountering looking outside of the world outside of you here. How does it strike you?
Like Brooklyn in the 20s. Especially Shinjuku. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really very soft. Oh, and then there's no other comparison to it. I'm still learning about it, and even just spending 12 days here, I know nothing whatsoever. I mean, you can learn sundry, Yankee handbook protocol, and know to say hello to the oldest person first, and et cetera, and the 5 words,